Hey there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jesse. I am here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck because I wanted to make a list of cards in a deck list format that people could check out. And the thing that gave me the idea for this list is that we had some people in our Discord asking about help building domain decks. They were asking something about like, what do you guys think are some staples? If you don't know what domain format is, I have a video talking about how to play it. You can check that out. The easiest way to explain it is that it's a format that me and my friends are trying to make. A deck master, you build a deck based off of the deck master that you pick. You play with 4 players. So if that sounds interesting, you can check out the Discord. It's been growing. Everybody's been excited to play. We've been playing on Discord, Spell Table, Untapped, stuff like that. So even if you don't have a deck, you could definitely play with us. If you're trying to build a domain deck, this is going to be a list of some cards that I think you might want to consider for filler or to fill out the rest of the 60 cards of your deck. These are all generically powerful, so all of these are going to be able to go into any deck. Now, are these the only cards you can pick from as far as filling out the rest of your deck? No. I just wanted a quick, easy spot for people to check, maybe see some cards they didn't think of to add to their deck. I split it up by card draw, spell trap removal, creature removal, cards that kind of help you break boards, cards that help you get advantage into play, tutor, search, send to graveyard, and some defensive options, stuff like that. In domain format, nothing is banned. It comes up quite often in the Discord about what could possibly be, considered staples and whatnot. This whole deck list, it's not a deck, it's 60 cards. So hopefully you can find something to throw into your deck, maybe give you some ideas to bounce off of. If you don't want to hear me talk about these cards, the deck list will be down below and you can check it out on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck yourself. Yeah, I sorted these out. I start off with card draw. Most people are going to think about Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed easily. Some cards that maybe some people wouldn't think about. Pot of Avarice. This shuffles 5 monsters from your graveyard back into your deck to draw 2 cards. Recycling in domain format is absolutely key. You only have 1 of each card, and if you want to use a card more than once, you got to be able to shuffle it back in. This is great for extra deck monsters. Great card. Pot of Dichotomy is similar in a way. It only shuffles in back 3, but you still draw 2 cards. Jar of Avarice. A lot of people would see this card and think, why would I ever play this? It just draws you 1 card. But again, the shuffling back 5 of any cards into your deck, it doesn't have to be monsters. This is great. Mirage of Nightmare. This card was on my Power 9 list. I tried doing a thought experiment about what would be considered Yu-Gi-Oh's Power 9, if you're familiar with that saying from MTG. I'll put a card up if you want to check that out. Card to Save Return, absolutely bonkers in a lot of decks. Card Destruction, fan favorite. Upstart Goblin, easy card to add to most decks. Again, shuffling back from Banish into your deck, even though it only draws 1 card, is still extremely good. Everybody knows Triple Tactics. Painful Choice, honestly what I think the most powerful card in the game is. 6 cents, you either draw 5 or 6 or mill up to 4 cards. Onto Spell and Trap removal, there's Heavy Storm, Feather Duster, everybody can think of those. Lightning Storm, Giant Trinade, Twin Twisters. Onto the monster removal, Dark Hole, Raigeki, Torrential Tribute. This is an old one, maybe some of you guys remember, Needle Ceiling. This Mirror Force is kind of a placeholder for all Mirror Forces. You can pick the ones that you like. This one happens to be my favorite. I think it's the best against extra deck monsters that say things like they can't be destroyed or whatever. And this Mirror Force doesn't require a direct attack, just monster attacks. After the creature removal, I wanted to pick some cards that would help you deal with some problematic monsters, like ways to help break boards. There's Snatch Steal, Change of Heart, Mind Control. You can take their monsters, use them for materials. Dark Ruler No More, Droplet, Karma Cannon. This is like a Book of Moon for every creature in play, and it kills all link monsters or sends them to the graveyard. Sphere Mode. In domain format, any deck can play Divine Beast monsters or Divine Attribute monsters. So literally any deck can play this to break up boards. This one kaiju is kind of the placeholder for all kaijus. No matter what deck you're playing, your deck master has an attribute and there's a kaiju for that attribute. Going off onto cards that, again, you may not think of while you're trying to build a deck. Monster Born, everybody would think about, obviously. Premature Burial, Soul Charge, Dimension Fusion, Return from the Different Dimension. Last Will, this card's dirt cheap and absolutely just amazing for this deck. You're never sad to see this card. Reasoning, you get to mill spell traps until you hit a monster, put that into play. Monster Gate guarantees that you put the monster into play, but you have to attribute a monster, and again, it mills you some cards. Metamorphosis, easy access to the extra deck. Downbeat's kind of cool. Target face-up monster, special summon from your deck one monster with the same original type and attribute that the attributed monster had on the field, but 1 level lower. This is obviously very good, because you're going to be playing a lot of the same attribute, the same attribute and type monsters. A lot of spellcasters are dark, a lot of fiends are dark, a lot of rocks are earth. This is going to be able to tutor up quite a few monsters depending on what you're most likely going to be attributing your deck master. Transmodify is the same thing, but it searches for a monster 1 level higher. Sending some cards to the graveyard is always crucial. There's Foolish Burial Goods for a spell or trap. Peaceful Burial. For redundancy, you would want to play this. Gold Sark, Small World. Just about every single archetype in the game uses field spells. Here's some cards for redundancy on that. There's Terraforming, Demise of the Land, Metaverse. These last few cards, just some more generic good cards. Called by the Grave, take care of any pesky graveyard effects or or any hand traps they might possibly play on you. Burial from a different dimension. Again, getting back banished cards to your graveyard to recycle them is great. Ultimate Offering. Card gets pretty bonkers and it's dirt cheap. I got some negates here. You can negate all traps, negate all spells, negate special summons. Solemn Judgment, negate anything. And then 2 traps that are actually hand traps that can be played on the very first turn of the domain game rotation. You guys obviously have heard of Evenly Matched and Infinite Impermanence. Okay, I just wanted to go through that really quick. This isn't a fancy video or anything. Again, links are in below if you want to check out the Discord. If you want to see my YouTube video on how to play domain format if you've never heard of it before. All my domain deck lists are on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck, so you can check that out. And if you want to see this list for yourself, it will be there, obviously. I want to make this a series. These are all super generic cards that I think people could consider playing. I want to do another video going deep into like things like hand traps, floodgates, generic type support, or generic attribute support, or even some more versions of powerful cards like Heavy Storm that maybe you haven't heard of, like Malevolent Catastrophe. That's one thing I like so much about this format, is the deck building aspect of digging deep into the pool of cards. It's really fun. I've seen so many interesting cards that I have not seen before playing these games with these guys in Discord. Really fun. I would highly recommend you check it out. This format is amazing. Nothing's banned. You can play whatever you want, and it's a work in progress. The more people we get to join and play, the better it will get as we refine it more and more. Again, thank you very much for watching. If you like this, you can subscribe. I plan on making more content for domain format. And if you want to help me out, you can like the video. It's free and it does help. Until next time, thank you very much. Have a good one.